Ira's fingers loosened from the cup. Slowly, hesitantly, she lifted her hand and placed it over Meera's hand resting on her head. Her touch was cold, fragile, but it stopped Meera's movements instantly. Ira turned. For the first time, fully facing her, her eyes, still red, still swollen, searched Meera's face like a child searching for truth in a story she was afraid to hear. "Were you happy?" she whispered. Her voice was hoarse, barely there. But the question, it held everything, not just curiosity. Fear. Hope. A silent will I be. Meera stilled. The question lingered between them. Heavy. Unavoidable. She had never asked herself that. Not like this. Not so directly. Her lips parted slightly, her gaze softening as she repeated, almost to herself. Was I happy? A faint, broken smile touched her lips. I was a happy daughter-in-law, a happy sister-in-law. A pause. Her eyes dimmed just slightly. I was a happy mother, of two. Her voice faltered. Then came the truth. Quiet. Unadorned. But I was never a happy wife. Silence filled the room. Ira's fingers tightened over hers. Meera inhaled slowly, her gaze drifting again, this time darker, heavier. But then, something changed, she whispered. Her hand trembled faintly under Ira's. He started changing, showing up more, trying. A hollow breath left her. But his change, her voice broke slightly, came at a cost I can never repay. Ira's heart stilled. Meera's eyes shimmered now, tears gathering, but she didn't stop. I was 9 months pregnant, she said quietly. We were in Delhi, he was working there. Aariv was away on a school trip. Her fingers curled slightly. It was raining that day. A pause. My water broke. Ira's breath caught. I called him, Meera whispered. Again and again, her lips trembled. He didn't answer. Silence. Driver and the house help rushed me. Sia was small. She refused to leave me. She came with us. Her voice grew uneven. The rain was heavy. I was in pain. Sia was crying, scared. Her hand tightened over Ira's. The driver lost control. A tear slipped down her cheek. The car hit the side barrier. Ira's grip tightened instantly. By God's grace, Meera whispered, voice shaking. The house help shielded Sia. A pause. Pain stretched through her words. But by the time they got me to the hospital, her voice broke. It was too late. Silence crashed into the room. It was between my child and me. Her lips trembled harder now. And he came, a bitter breath left her, just in time to take my child away. Ira's eyes filled instantly. Meera closed her eyes for a second, tears slipping freely now. And after that, she whispered, her voice hollow, when I had lost all hope in my marriage. She let out a broken laugh. That's when he started showing up. The irony burned in her tone. Later, I found out. Her voice hardened slightly. The reason he didn't answer that day. A pause. Each word cut deeper. His PR head, his childhood friend, she had a party. Her jaw tightened faintly. His phone was on silent. Silence. Heavy. Unforgiving. Tears streamed down her face now, not just for what she lost, but for everything that followed. For the years. For the loneliness. For the realization. And somewhere within that pain for her son, because every time she looked at him, she saw the same man. The same distance. The same silence. The same choices. And it terrified her how much he was becoming like him. Ira didn't think, she just moved. Closing the small distance between them, she wrapped her arms around Meera, tight, instinctive, like she was holding not just her, but the pain she had just heard. It's okay, she whispered softly, her voice still rough but steady in its gentleness. You don't have to say anything more, I'm here. Meera stilled for a second. Then slowly, she held her back, not as the poised woman the world knew, not as the wife of a powerful man, but as a mother, as a woman who had carried too much for too long. In her mind, a silent vow formed. I will not let you become my past. You will not live the life I lived. You will have love, a future that doesn't break you. After a moment, Meera gently pulled back, her hands resting on Ira's shoulders. She looked into her eyes. Deeply. Searching. Steady. You will have to face your fears yourself, Meera said softly, but there was steel beneath her tone now. No one else can do that for you. Ira didn't look away. You will have to be strong, Meera continued. You will have to stand for yourself, for your rights. Her fingers tightened slightly, not harsh but firm. Aariv is yours, she said. The words landed heavy. Certain. And you will have to claim him. A pause. Her gaze softened just a fraction, but her resolve didn't. And if you don't want to, her voice dropped, calm but absolute. I will never allow him to marry you, my child. Silence. Not threatening. Protective. Fierce. In a relationship, Meera went on, her eyes never leaving Ira's, there are only two people. She shook her head slightly. That's it. Her voice hardened. No third person, not even a shadow, a beat, only you and him. The room held still around them. Meera's gaze didn't waver, it didn't comfort this time. It challenged. Encouraged. Pushed. Because she wasn't just holding Ira anymore, she was preparing her. For what came next. Meera stepped out of the bedroom, closing the door softly behind her. The moment she turned, she saw him. Aariv sat in the living room of the suite, leaning back against the sofa, one arm resting on the armrest, the other loosely placed on his thigh. He hadn't changed his position much, as if he had been sitting there all this time. Waiting. Watching. His presence filled the room. Not loud. Not restless. But heavy. Unavoidable. The softness in Meera's eyes disappeared instantly, replaced by something colder. Controlled. She walked toward the opposite sofa and sat down without a word, her back straight, her chin slightly lifted. Across from her, his gaze never left her. Sharp. Observing. Hawk-like. The same gaze his father carried. The same ability to read beyond words, beyond expressions, beyond silence. No matter how well someone tried to hide. They saw. And right now, he was reading her. Aariv leaned forward slightly, reaching for the intercom placed on the table beside him. Without breaking eye contact, he pressed the button. Bring herbal tea. His voice was deep. Calm. Commanding. Not loud, but absolute. He placed the receiver back slowly, his attention returning fully to her. Meera watched him. Really watched him. Gone were the crisp kurta, the narrow jacket, the polished image of the chief minister. Now he sat in a loose track pant and a simple tee. Bare. Unfiltered. But somehow more dangerous, because this was not the man the world saw. This was the man behind it. The one who didn't perform, the one who didn't pretend. The one who was. And that worried her more. Her gaze lingered on him for a second longer before she spoke, her voice calm but carrying a quiet edge. You've learned to command a room well. A pause, but you still don't know how to hold a relation and a woman's heart. The words landed between them. Not raised. Not dramatic. But precise. Aariv didn't react immediately. Didn't defend. Didn't interrupt. He just looked at her, fist clenched, but his face gave nothing away. He just watched his mother. Longer this time. As if measuring something. As if deciding how much of himself to reveal, or how much to hide. Few hours ago. Aariv's gaze stayed on the door, but his mind slipped. Back. To the moment things had gone out of his control. The party office. His cabin. Tension thick enough to suffocate. Say that again. Aariv's voice cut through the room low, dangerous. Sumit, the head of the finance department, swallowed before speaking again, files clutched tightly in his hands. Sir, approximately 40 crores have been siphoned off from the campaign fund, he said, trying to keep his tone steady. It's not external, the breach is internal. Aariv leaned back slightly, his fingers tapping once on the table. Names. One word. Sharp. We are narrowing it down, Sumit replied quickly. 3 accounts flagged so far. Shell transfers, layered transactions. Whoever did this knows the system well. Aariv's jaw tightened. Then stop narrowing and start finding, he said coldly. I want names before the night ends. Sir, we are trying, but... I don't pay you to try. His voice was sharp like a blade, eyes held fury. One thing Aariv hates is disloyalty. Silence slammed into the room. Sumit lowered his gaze immediately. Yes, sir. Aariv stood up, walking toward the glass window behind him, his reflection staring back calm, composed, while everything beneath it burned. Freeze all suspicious accounts, he ordered without turning, and pull audit logs for the last 6 months. I want every movement traced. Done, sir. And Sumit, Aariv's voice dropped further, quieter but more lethal. If this leaks before I control it, you won't be explaining it to me. You'll be explaining why you failed to the entire board. Sumit nodded quickly. Understood, sir. A knock came at the door. Aariv commanded them to come in. Sumit took the cue. I'll update you in an hour, sir. Sumit sighs, taking his leave. Anyone in Aariv's presence can be scared. Aariv gave a slight nod, dismissing him. Aaron stepped in, followed by the stylist and assistants, quietly setting things up in the seating area. The door closed behind him. Time slipped. By the time Aariv sat down to get ready, it was already 6:30 p.m. Late. Too late. For a fraction of a second, something flickered in his mind. Her complaining to him in Noor about her waiting. Something unknown flickered on the left side of the chest, the way she said those words. I waited. She waited for him, and he did not show up, caught up in this damn situation. He would have got ready in the hotel itself, but he had to rush back to the office. Every damn fucker will pay for her tears today. He clenches his jaw. He stood, adjusting his cuff, his tone returning to business. Arun, he said. Yes, sir. Send a female assistant to the hotel. She will assist her and bring her to the venue. A pause. I'll meet her there. He then turned to face Aaron, who nodded and bowed to his boss. And Aaron make sure she is safe and comfortable, one word. A pause. Aaron held his breath. One word, and I will have all your heads. His voice dangerous, filled with promise. Aaron nodded, knowing full well how Aariv became when Ira is the topic. Unpredictable. Aaron nodded again, gulping immediately. Yes, sir. He stepped out, pulling the door shut behind him. And almost collided with her. Niharika,